sort of opportunity, then they must take it.
Here we go then, all set at Vale Park. Your commentary team this evening, Alan Smith, and first, good evening to Seb Hutchinson.
Yes, good evening everybody. A fixture that Vale haven't tasted this millennium. And so Vale Park packed with anticipation. The EFL club with the longest run out of the top flight, hoping to overcome the club with the longest run in the top flight. It took a replay, extra time and a penalty shootout for Arsenal to put out Port Vale on their last meeting all those years ago. This one though will be decided tonight without at least two of those three options. So let's see. For Darren Moore, who's taken this side back up to League One, what can they expect tonight? Well, 4 changes for his side from the starting side against Mansfield. With Liam Gordon injured at the weekend, birthday boy Jaheim Headley comes in. Young midfielders Reece Walters and George Hall are preferred to the experience of George Byers and captain Ben Garrity, Hall making his first start for the club. Ronan Curtis, who came off the bench to earn and score the winning penalty at the weekend, starts in place of Deante Cole. So as expected, wholesale changes for Mikel Arteta, 9 in total from the City draw. There's an Arsenal debut for Kepa Arrizabalaga in goal, and a first Gunners start for Christian Norgard in midfield, with Bukayo Saka captaining the side. 15-year-old Max Dowman on the bench. And only a busy night expected for captain on the night, Conor Hall.
Yeah. I mean, Darren Moore spoke about concentration earlier, and as captain in that back five, Conor Hall's got a responsibility to keep everybody switched on at all points in this match. And from a personal point of view, he's got Bukayo Saka on that side of the pitch. A big challenge for him, a huge one for his team tonight. With the squad so much stronger and deeper with the signings in the summer, Ethan Nwaneri might not get the games he would have hoped for. He's a major talent without question, but he's got his work cut out finding a starting spot in the big games this season. Mind you, having said that, he's still only 18.
Well, Mikel Arteta knows that everybody's aware that Arsenal are overdue a trophy, but what about this competition? One in which in the history of Arsenal they've only won twice. Now they add to that tally this season with the squad that they have assembled. And for Port Vale and Darren Moore, well, Darren Moore facing Arsenal as a manager for the first time. He did face them on a few occasions as a player in the top flight, and himself has faced the best on the pitch and now on the touchline, taking on the top side. Well, a sellout at Vale Park, a packed away end as well, as Arsenal enter the competition. Andrew Kitchen, the referee for this evening, as away we go. Second in the Premier League, the 19th in League One, for a place in the last 16 of the Carabao Cup. And the first ironic cheer of the night, I'm sure we'll hear a few of those. We're looking at that Arsenal setup straight away.
Yeah,
through the middle.
Yeah, Marino, he's done that before, through the middle. Famously got a couple against Leicester, didn't he, last season?
Already the first burst from midfield from George Hall. One of the many signings made by Port Vale. His first start tonight, a Birmingham City player.
These situations are going to be important. They had good delivery in the last round against Birmingham, caused problems. They're going to make the most of them.
People have been talking about the long throw more than usual already this season. And Jordan Gabriel launches that one, an awkward one for Arsenal to defend perhaps. Headed away on Mascara. Gabriel only back in play. The system played by Port Vale with 3 at the back and 2 wing-backs. They'll be forced all the way back, but Ben White in the team tonight. With his injury issues recently.
Yeah, he's got it all on to shift Julian Timber from that spot. Having been a regular for a good few seasons.
Arsenal going long. And direct early on, flick on from Saka. Doesn't matter what level, how high the level you play at, you need a few moments to settle on nights like this. Lewis Skelly. Is playing in the role tonight that excelled in for Crystal Palace. Morgan, base of Arsenal's midfield. Started games in pre-season for the Gunners, former Brentford man. This is his first competitive start. There's Norgard again. Inside towards Saka. Gauchi didn't really catch hold of that as he would have liked, but it might have worked out here. Supporters will look to get Vale going. Gabriel. Nothing can he get forward of Hall. Looking from that midfield area. Mascara across. He's shown he can play anywhere on that back line. Yeah,
looking forward to seeing him in the flesh. A really good addition, it looks like, being to that defence.
PA not fit to be involved tonight, wasn't involved at the weekend. So we're expecting Saliba or Gabriel to start it. Is Saliba. Some defending to do here as that throw comes in. Rosedale helping it on. And some muted chance for a penalty for Vale. Martinelli has eased off the ball in midfield. Increase. Hall. Keeping that ball into space nicely for Headley. Strong start here from Vale.
I'd be pleased that those players out on that pitch for Vale are getting a good touch of the ball, playing a lot of football in Arsenal's half. Should enable them to settle, give them a bit of belief they can actually compete.
Grimsby Town caught Manchester United cold in their first half. There's Waneri. Drifting inside and working it out to Lewis Skelly. Martinelli. Norgard. Getting those bodies behind the ball. Martinelli has made an excellent impact for Arsenal in the last week or so. 2 goals off the bench. Starting tonight. Saka. Inevitable boos for the best players. Marino. Waneri. Into Norgard. Eze. Mascara. Lewis Skelly. Set up here, actually expecting to see for much of this game.
Yeah, they should be conscious they need to keep that width to try and stretch that back five, create some gaps.
Expecting training in the days before this match, Port Vale would have practiced this sort of situation, but facing it is a different matter. Saka clips it to the back post. Lewis Skelly almost on the end of that. Defending from Gabriel. Waneri. Waneri's almost sending it through cleanly. Hall got a toe in. Saka. Norgard. Right back to Norgard. Right. Back to Saka that time. Not losing in that sort of situation. Marino didn't quite get his pass right. Saka still getting it across. White. Waneri. Lewis Skelly. Now Martinelli to the back post. Header away.
Yeah, first Saka and then Martinelli have got the better of the wing backs on their sides.
Waneri. Mosquera. Martinelli. Eze pops it out. White. They're being forced deeper and deeper. Saka to swing it in. Hall with his header away. Mosquera. An early flurry for the home side. To get back behind the ball. Saka stopped that from going out of play. He will try and bring it out, but can't hold on to it. Saka always shields the ball so well. Waneri. Martinelli. Oh, lovely for Arsenal. Oh, it's so good. It's so easy. And a first Gunners goal for Eze. Just too slick for the home side, and it's not taken Arsenal.
A lot of white shirts in there, but unable to make a difference. Slick football from the Gunners, and that's a big moment for him. It is for anybody scoring their first goal for the new club. Martinelli seen a lot of the ball early on. I mean, it's a little bit fortunate. Louis Skelly doesn't really get a touch on it. And maybe that's what confuses the defender. He takes that like a training ground goal.
He already had a couple of assists to his name before this one. And he opens his account for Arsenal. Many signings in the summer to really bolster this squad. A lovely touch from Eze there as Arsenal look for more. Gabriel has had a busy start. Picks up a free kick. Sometimes those little moments are enough to open up a defence.
Well, it's the worst possible start for the home team, but they've just got to gather themselves and try and settle again. Quite often it is 5-4-1 when they haven't got the ball pattern. The lone man up top there. Can they get this team up the pitch?
The expectation was that Arsenal would make a lot of changes tonight, but they have strength in depth. Scary. Of course, the thing to add to that, pretty good players that have come through the youth system as well. The two teenagers in the starting lineup. Early goal for Arsenal, early goals elsewhere, including for Manchester City. Away to Huddersfield Town, and Phil Foden with the opener there. So as it stands, no shocks. Spurs 2-0 up against Doncaster. Newcastle 2-0 up against Bradford City as well. Joe Linton and Asula with the goals for Newcastle. And Spurs, Paulinho, no goal from McGrath. New shots. In it, Grimsby in it. And Saka. Pretty timely for Arsenal. An untimely injury. Now injury's timely, to be honest, but Madueke, unfortunately, out for several weeks. But then Saka coming back just in time.
Yeah, real blow for Madueke. He was playing well for club and country. But it's been a blow for Port Vale here, and it's just taken the expectation away from the atmosphere, from the crowd.
There's not much they could have done about that goal, perhaps, but More defending for them to do here. Saka. Take on Headley. And Arsenal in again. One area. Just past the post. Who's claiming for the corner and he'll get it?
When he cuts onto his left foot, the alarm bells are ringing in these kind of positions. I'd imagine that was heading for the far post, for the far corner.
Indeed, he loves those sort of positions. And he still holds that record for the youngest Arsenal player. He knocks down when he's on the scene. Corner taken short by Arsenal. Eze. They just move it across nicely. Skelly back for Saka. Precise from Arsenal in a crowded box as well. Away by Hall. Saliba mopping up. There's two Halls in the Port Vale side, George Hall in midfield and Connor Hall at the back. Two Christians in the Arsenal team, Mosquera and Norgard. Different spellings though, Alan, if you're interested in that sort of stuff.
No, not really.
I didn't think you were.
But looked like being two good signings early on.
There's Marino. Saka. Aries got on the ball a lot so far. White. Marino linking up. And White. No foul. Forcing his way through. And in the end, well, I think Arsenal wanted a corner or a penalty, and then Port Vale felt there should have been a foul.
Right, Saka certainly thought it might have been a penalty, that Ben White was tripped here. They just kind of stopped for a fraction of a second, Port Vale. I don't think there's enough in that. No. The ball was always rolling out, so Ben White tries his luck.
His leg was there for a while. Headley knows he's going for a busy evening, like so much of that defence. Big appeals from the handball from players and the crowd.
The linesman had a good view of it, kept his flag down.
Just very close. Hall. Put a lot of effort in his early stages. A midfielder who was picked up from Birmingham, as I mentioned, made his debut off the bench against Mansfield, but starting for the first time tonight, 21-year-old. Waneri. White. Arsenal have done what the fancy side has to do if they score early, quieten the crowd, make them frustrated.
Yeah, back in the day, used to come to lower league sides and worry about the state of the pitch, but these days they're all perfect, aren't they? This is a carpet out there.
You really have to go and look at the old footage. I believe I'm calling the late 90s old, but that was the case. The last meeting between these two clubs, Headley trying to get there before Saka. Saka's balance too good. Marino. Waneri. Marino has been dropping off that front line to link up. Marino. Cross it goes to Martinelli. Instant control from the Brazilian. Looks to duck inside and get it back. Eze. Teasing in front of him, Hall.
Such a confident player, isn't he? He just tease you with the ball. There's a, he just flicks it off. He's built up good understandings with his new teammates.
A player who in many respects is an inspiration. Players in the Football League as well to make that rise to the top after being released. Here's Waneri. White. Norgard. Waneri. Mascara. Waneri probing. So Arsenal look for another. Mascara. Skelly to Eze. Norgard. White. Looks for Saka in behind. Headley. In the end, and saw it early enough.
Yeah, it's a big challenge for him. He's keeping his eye on the ball, and another eye on that fella whose movement is so good, as his acceleration.
Jaheim Headley, who did score a goal against Wimbledon that confirmed, in the match that confirmed Vale's return to League One. End of last season. Saka, is there close? An Arsenal corner. Usually poses a few problems for the opposition, but they went short that time. Waneri. And across to Lewis Skelly. Back over to Saka. Saliba. White. Saka. With a cross. And flicked on at that near post. Mascara is still forward. Well, Gabriel tried to run out of defence. Not the first Port Vale player to try that. Gabriel hoping for a free kick. A player who actually was at Arsenal's youth setup originally before leaving at 14.
It's difficult quite often. He'll look up and there's not a white shirt to pass to, so trying to carry the ball upfield.
Jesse Deborah to get it down the pitch with his long throw. Norgard. Probably looking forward to defending those. He was pretty good in both boxes when it came to set pieces. And a free kick for Lewis Skelly. It's another element of his game that we always have to remind ourselves, but he's only 18, turns 19 in a couple of days, Mars Lewis Skelly, but he's got great balance for his age, can hold off far older men.
Yeah, he's playing second fiddle to Calafiori in these early weeks, but that's not going to do him any harm at all.
Mascara. Saliba. White. Inside to Eze. On the turn, the white shirts flood back. Martinelli. Norgard. Skelly in that central area. Here's Martinelli. White. Saka. Slip from Headley, who's having to concentrate so hard. Saka, the ball inside, looking for White. Just the concentration required for Jaheim Headley at left.
Yeah, you
wing
can
back.
just see it, can't you, from up here? Fiercely trying to keep his concentration with movement all around him.
Happy birthday, Jaheim. 24th birthday today. Martinelli looking to speed past Gabriel. Lewis Skelly. Norgard. Crosdale almost got a foot in. White. Waneri. I think it's fair to say Arsenal had a lot of the ball, Alan. Is that fair?
They have, and they've used it really crisply. Movement off the ball has been excellent. Lovely weight of pass. And it's making those Port Vale lads dizzy at times because they can't get close. They can't be aggressive, really.
Yeah, unbelievably, Arsenal have had more possession so far than they did against Manchester City. That game on Sunday, City only 30% of the ball is Norgard. Things could turn quickly. Port Vale facing 10 men for much of the match against Mansfield at the weekend. 75% possession they had in that game, but at the moment they're chasing Arsenal shirts as they flood forward. Marino. Saka. Lewis Skelly. Now Martinelli. Clips it to the back post. Is there too much on that? That is the case.
Well, I spoke about concentration, but you're chasing the ball constantly without getting a touch on it. It feels even more draining. It takes more out of your legs. As this match wears on, I think Darren Moore will be having to use his bench to try and keep the freshness in it. Spoke about that beforehand.
He's a popular figure around the club, the manager. A real community club around these parts. Club that's been looking forward to this match ever since the draw was made. Though for the players out there, it's expected under amount of pressure in the opening 23 minutes. Stepper looks down the right line. Free kick to Arsenal.
He's not getting much joy out of Lewis Skelly. I think he's been a little unlucky at times.
Making some interesting runs though, Hall.
So, he'll do a lot there.
Well, a man who's very disappointed to be missing tonight, Liam Gordon, a big gooner, but had to go off injured against Mansfield Town. Has he just been told he's on the screen on the telly? Happy to be involved tonight and up against Bukayo Saka. You know how cool football can be sometime. Saliba. White. Norgard. Lewis Skelly. White. Saka. Mosquera. Teta right on the edge of his technical area. As usual, high demands, was disappointed with that pass. Gabriel did well, now Crosdale. Curtis getting under control, and Payton.
Yeah, I mean, at 1-0 up, you're always a little nervous still. Vale could grab a goal out of nothing and lift everybody in this stadium.
This ball couldn't hold off Mosquera. Marino. The crowd applauded when Payton passed the ball all the way back. I think they just wanted some possession. Arsenal quick to win it back. Saliba. Mosquera. So far, keeper watching. Players look after the ball, and he can get on the ball here. The Arsenal supporters behind that goal. 3,100 making the trip tonight. Saliba tried to step out, loses it. Pressure from Payton, who wanted that ball played early.
I mean, that is Arsenal's biggest enemy, complacency. Talk about the concentration needed for Port Vale. Well, being so dominant, Arsenal can't afford just to take their eye off the ball.
Curtis did well to hold off Ben White there. He is a player who likes to drift out to the left-hand side. First goal against Mansfield Leighton. Ball clipped over the top now. Gabriel made a clever run. And I think Arsenal didn't really see him.
Well, they held the line, Arsenal, and they were convinced he'd gone too early, that he was offside. Running across that line, you just need it a little bit earlier, but ooh, Ben White perhaps keeping him on.
No VAR at this stage of the competition either. Voice to surprise Arsenal as Walters tried to get that wide cleanly. Hall. To Joe Gauci. From Aston Villa. Many appearances for Villa did come in the League Cup a couple of seasons ago. And Gauci does eventually go long. We're waiting for that moment. Curtis wanted it on his chest. Mascara. Martinelli. To Ranieri, he gives it away to Croasdale. Now Headley, but he sends Saka back the other way. Went across Saka and Saka read it. Now Ranieri, it's fouled in the end.
That's what they need to try and do, just get a bit closer to those Arsenal players. But it's not been easy at all.
The central defenders for Port Vale don't really have a fixed figure to mark. Something they're not used to either. There's Morgan. Marino. Now White. Looking for Saka with that ball inside Headley once more. And then Headley, I think, was hoping that that would go out of play in the end. I think the referee will stop play. Gets Curtis down. Caught in the midriff, I believe.
Yeah, just a little winded, maybe.
So if you're Port Vale, 75% possession against Mansfield. Want to get that ball back. For a club, they waited a long time for a fixture like this, since the days of the legendary John Rudge with that signature flat cap. Excellent look. And a man who's in charge of the club as a manager, as you can see there, 1983 to 99. And a run that included huge cup shock over Everton and that meeting with Arsenal, or two meetings with Arsenal. A 0-0 at Highbury, and then in the return, it went to 0-0 and then extra time, and then Bergkamp scoring for Arsenal. And then Port Vale were able to send the game to a penalty shootout. A dramatic day that was.
Well, the good news for Darren Moore is his team is still in this match, as dominant as Arsenal have been.
He actually brought John Rudge into the dressing room before the game yesterday to inspire the players, try and take them back to that day and what's required to face a top side in a season in which Arsenal went on to win the double. That Wayne Cordon equaliser in extra time, sending that match to penalties. But tonight we go straight to a penalty shootout, no extra time if the scores are level. I do believe is a situation that suits lower league opposition. Certainly helped Grimsby in the end. But for Port Vale right now, seems a long, long way away from the Arsenal play. Martinelli. And Kepa. Morgan. Saliba. The feeling, of course, Arteta would have loved to give a first start to Pierre Nkapie tonight. Ecuador international. It's a groin issue that kicked him out, being in the squad at the weekend and probably starting this evening.
Yeah, picked up a few injuries early on in this season, but strength in depth. He's there for all to see tonight. Quite a few changes and really impressive. But, as I said, they're still in this, Port Vale.
Yeah, good work from Hall to win that back off Eze. He got skipped round initially. I didn't like Waters going backwards. Hall. Headley. Goes down. This is nicely worked.
And it's been a better few minutes for the home team.
Deborah. Gabriel. It's not the worst ball in the world. Mosquera has actually cleared the ball a few times for Arsenal in this first half. Humphreys. It's lifted the crowd a bit. A chance to get into Arsenal's final third. And Arteta screaming from the touchline that he wanted his side to press Port Vale there a bit harder. Deborah, nicely taken in the end. And the centre back. And Jesse Deborah. He's represented a team called Urawa, who represent Somalis who live in the UK, and also played for England C, incidentally. It's the England national side for non-league players.
I played for them.
Oh, did you? I didn't know
They weren't
that.
called England C then, though.
What were they called then?
Semi-professional.
Ah, I see.
Just thought I'd let you know.
What year was that? Just for my record.
81?
Oh, wow. Did you score?
Yeah, I think I did, yeah.
Darramore wanted Arsenal to get on with that throw-in quickly. I think his players were saying, hey, we're enjoying the rest for a bit. Saliba. White. Saka. And Waneri gets it back, and that was swift from Arsenal. A desperate lunge goes in, but Waneri unbothered by it. Just about scramble it away.
Yeah, it's that devastating change of pace. Waneri showed there that is one of the big differences between these levels.
Martinelli. Morgan. Saliba. White. One of the many dangers that Port Vale face is the fact that if they do try and get up the pitch and they lose it, that's what can happen. White to Saka. Behind White in the end, but there's Morgan to mop up. Marino sliding it through as they're almost getting a second, but Gauchi collects.
Yeah, did well, the keeper. This is lovely timing between Marino and Eze. Good understanding. Hits it early as well, so the keeper does well. Joe Gauchi.
Vale felt they should have had a free kick, but here comes Saka. And Saka and Hall just stopping him in the end. Arsenal. Once more with Morgan and now Saka. And Saka got out of that situation. But he gives it away. Hall couldn't collect though. All Skelly to Martinelli. Martinelli goes at Gabriel. Ball across. There's Mosquera. And just Caught Croasdale in the end, so free kick to the home side. And a breather again. Croasdale's pointing out foul earlier on.
It's just followed through on to Mosquera. Just a few seconds earlier over on that left-hand side. It's a foul, really. Gets the man before the ball, if indeed he did get the ball.
Arsenal, though, couldn't score at the other end. It's Mosquera. Saliba. Saliba out to White. Marino. So of course the other games taking place tonight had kickoffs 15 minutes earlier than this one. And they've all reached half-time. Manchester City 1-0 up against Huddersfield, at Huddersfield. Newcastle 2-0 up at home to Bradford. Spurs 2-0 up at home to Doncaster. Here's Croasdale getting there before, is it? Just the one goal for Arsenal so far, so I will certainly take that going into half-time.
Yeah, I think so, but still a good few minutes left, so easy to drop your concentration.
Skelly being told to move back for his throw-in. Lewis Skelly just got his throw-in away in the end. You can see the referee twitching there. Martinelli, Marino, Croasdale didn't do enough. Hall, that's it wide. Croasdale, corner.
Well, these are the moments, and the crowd can sense it. Got to make the most of them. Arsenal got plenty of height these days.
Curtis, who came off the bench against Mansfield, put in a few corners that weren't particularly appealing to watch, has to be said, but what about this time? Can Port Vale test Kepa with this corner? Oh, and it spins up here. Will it drop to a white shirt? Hall has a go again. It was just a moment. I thought it might break to a white shirt. One back by Curtis, no foul. Sends it back in again. Deborah just beaten to it when it bounced. Headley. Walters. Keep Arsenal pinned back here. Gabriel. Hangs it in there towards Deborah. Scoop back in once more. Curtis. Trying to make it difficult for Waneri, and no foul on that time, and Hall, and away by Mosquera. Gabriel, good pressure from Port Vale. And Eze, Avit.
Yeah. But these last couple of minutes have been the best for Port Vale in this first half.
So Hall. Going for that diagonal to Deborah, who stayed up. Mosquera, though, who's defended for Arsenal very well in this first half. We talk about players who've settled at new clubs. Christian Mosquera is right up there in the summer transfers. What about the last 5 minutes for Port Vale?
Well, they've gone in there, haven't they? Hoping that they will get some moments, and they've had them. bit of scrap for second balls, or scrap for the first contact and then the second ball, but that's the way it's going to have to be, I think, by the looks of it.
Just get a feeling, doesn't matter what level, they don't really like balls just being played into the box like that, awkward to defend. But Eze looking for Martinelli, Deborah matched him there, stride for stride. Martinelli back to Lewis Skelly. Eze, on guard. Mascara. White. Saka. Being pushed back. And he still can't get the ball off him though. Guard. Martinelli. To the edge of the box it goes. Marino. Desperate challenge goes in. And they try to launch it forward towards Payton. Well, what about the moment? Maybe a couple of moments for Connor Hall.
Yeah, as close as they've come, really. A free header there by the penalty spot, which he doesn't catch particularly well.
What I would say, despite all the pressure from Arsenal in this first half, Port Vale have had 7 touches in the Arsenal box, which is the same number as Manchester City had in the entire game at the weekend. So there's something.
You'd also say Arsenal haven't really created too many chances other than the goal.
It's the same as the weekend as well. Here's Saka. Saka goes. Plays it back to White. And Norgard. To Eze here, Walters trying to run it out. And the referee get happy with the challenge to let the game flow. Norgard. Martinelli. Sees the space behind Gabriel, tried to surge past him. And he changed that time. Ball, free kick. I want to ask about Martinelli because he had come under some criticism. The last week's been very good from him, but in a substitute's role, what is his long-term role in this Arsenal side?
Well, it's playing out there on the left, I think, giving the team width. I mean, Ebrieza, more often than not, perhaps will be on that side and he won't be able to get into the team. But he's had a couple of fallow seasons and perhaps he can bounce back. It makes a big difference when you've got somebody threatening your place, and it might actually help him, help his form.
It's got Leandro Trossard as well in that area. Curtis couldn't look after that one in the end. Here's White. 1 minute to be added into this first half. This is where concentration truly needed by Port Vale. To the break, just a goal behind. Headley tracked Saka all the way. It's been an interesting watch so far in this first half. Diamond ultimately disappointed, obviously, with conceding an early goal, but he probably would have taken this scoreline.
Yeah, I think he'd have been assessing closely last 5-10 minutes the energy in his players and whether some are just tiring a little.
Arteta looked to be enjoying himself too much. I think for any the top Premier League managers in these cup competitions, when they rotate like this, they probably also want to a few goals ahead to make earlier changes than they need to, but it doesn't always work out for you in that way. But so far, working out just about okay for Arsenal, and that's thanks to a first Arsenal goal for Eze. In a game in which Arsenal have dominated possession, but Port Vale have hung on in there. And so, as it stands at Vale Park at half-time, Port Vale 0, Arsenal 1. Those meetings in the late 90s, Arsenal fielding a very strong side. In that second leg, Bergkamp started, Wright started. But Port Vale in this second half, hoping to find an equaliser, to give themselves a chance. Payton. They'll have a player down, but they're on the attack, so what do they do here? Payton just about getting up to his feet in the end. Thought he should have got a free kick. See what he thinks about the challenge.
Yeah, I mean, Etta got the ball first and then just came down on his foot, so just an accident.
Signed from Queen's Park. So we tried to sum up that first half towards the end of the first half, and the fact that Arsenal did have a lot of the ball, but there weren't too many clear-cut chances. You think of the Eze one, other than his goal. So that would have pleased Darren Moore for a start.
Exactly, yeah. I think, I mean, overall, he must be pleased with that first half effort. And the fact his team is still in it, and just like Arteta, I'm sure he'll be using his substitutes. It's a free hit for him, isn't it? A free hit. And it'll just be interesting to see how his players cope with this standard of football.
He's never gone beyond this round in the League Cup as a manager, Darren Moore. Reached round 3 twice with West Brom and Sheffield Wednesday. But it's long throw time and Gabriel. And Arsenal bringing everybody back to defend their box. Well, you mentioned long throws in the Stoke area. It does get a few Arsenal fans a bit nervous.
I don't think this is a long throw, but I might be wrong. We'll see.
You see Gabriel with a run-up and the right smile. Expectations high. And Gabriel to get it in. It was flicked on by Curtis. Then an effective clearance. First swipe from one area. But now instead Marino threading it through. Now Gauci has come and he got there. And he had to get there.
Close to being offside, Martinelli, that. Like stayed down though.
And now Payton, he felt he should have had a free kick. One area. I think Port Vale will want to be in situations like that too often though. Pacer Martinelli, when he makes those runs through the middle, brought him a couple of goals recently.
It's one of those, they want to try and squeeze it and deny Arsenal space in the middle of the park, but at the same time you're leaving a lot of room in behind.
Saka trying to point out that Headley's got a fist of his shirt. Andrew Kitchen, the referee tonight, has not been quick to blow his whistle. Kepa, Saliba. Headley leaving there, but Gauci, it was just that moment you thought, would he get there? But he got there.
Yeah, he started in his own half. Martinelli, you can see the picture, and he just kind of shied away from it a little bit as the keeper approached. Clean tackle from Gauci.
Well, you're seeing that, a free kick, a foul on Curtis. I have to say, Arteta's reaction to that free kick, he was not happy at all. So, and then Curtis. Can he find Paul or Deborah? Go flick on here. Curtis sends it in towards that Arsenal penalty area. Again, waiting for the ball to drop to a white shirt, just wouldn't quite happen.
Yeah, a couple of times now, though, they've got the first touch. And those balls into the box, Port Vale.
Hall. Oh, that was awkward for Walters. He stretched, but it's Saka who's come off the worst. And he slapped the ground in frustration, Bukayo Saka. And it came from a short pass from Hall, and Arteta can't even look.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing malicious in that. Walters has got the ball and then just come through. His momentum's taken him onto the instep of Saka, which is going to hurt.
Well, in your experience, looking at sort of a challenge like that, it's the pain of the impact from the top of the foot, you'd hope.
Yeah.
And nothing more. But a worried look. Arteta saw the incident happen. He could feel it isn't happening, but Saka helped to his feet. I wonder if that might be a moment where Arteta thinks about taking him off. Game's not, we would say, won though yet. Here's the man that a lot hoping they'd see in action tonight, Max Dowman. Where's Skelly? Kepa. Saka wants Kepa to play the ball through the middle.
I'll never forget that League Cup final when Malaga refused to come off against Manchester City.
I was going to ask which League Cup final, because he had another one with Chelsea in which he missed a penalty in the shootout. Too much on that pass, there is.
It's happened twice now, actually, between Saliba and White. Just overhits it a bit, the Frenchman.
Well, they've not got to play with each other recently. So even with this big squad, they are picking up injuries, so having to just mix things up every now and again. I mean, White's injuries issues recently, Saliba as well, Saka who's starting tonight. Headley. There's White to lead away. Longer can stay just 1-0 down. Port Vale, his belief will grow. Headley. And Hall. Just trying to help it for Curtis. Got there first. He's just going to stop play with Curtis down, and he's in a bit of pain. The thing about Norgard is he can match players physically as well. He doesn't mind direct football and going up for duels.
Yeah, both with eyes on the ball. Nothing in it, but Curtis just coming off the worst.
How about Christian Norgard? A signing that surprised many when he came to the club, but felt sensible at the same time for such a solid Premier League performer.
Well, I think solid's the word, isn't it? He would be a good presence in the dressing room. He's not one that would be pining consistently for a starting place. He knows his place in this squad, I would imagine.
It's only a rest for Zubamendi tonight. No handball, Marino. And then Marino, oh, that's a bit overly physical from the Spaniard. Maybe it's just, should we just say it's momentum? I don't think Curtis agrees.
Bit of a wrestling move, this one. Flinging him to the floor. Curtis has been in amongst it tonight.
And after the wrestling moves for Marino, the attendance announced for tonight. It's their biggest crowd since they welcomed Liverpool to Vale Park in the FA Cup third round in 1999. The crowd on that occasion was 16,557. There is a section of the ground closed off tonight. So, obviously, if it was open, they'd have even more people here. Marino trying to sweep that through to Martinelli. And Humphreys. Well, he probably felt Martinelli breathing down his neck.
Yeah, it was a good starting position for Cameron Humphreys. But yeah, just needed to relax the body in passing that ball back.
Well, Cameron Humphreys, who's product of Manchester City's youth system, did actually make 2 sub appearances in the FA Cup nearly 10 years ago now. Now, in the Carabao Cup, he's marking Mosquera. Arsenal go short with a corner
Not
again.
for the first time.
Saka getting it back, who took that corner. Waneri, won't want to lose it there as the last man. Doesn't. Lewis Skelly. £200 million worth of talent in this Arsenal side. Counting the fact they have 3 academy graduates as well. The deep score to Arsenal, probing for a second here. Saka, and there's Headley. And he had that challenge lined up a long time ago.
Teasing ball from Ranieri into his path.
Good news is Saka seems to be moving okay after holding the force on the top of his foot.
Interesting though, they're going for short corners. They didn't get much joy at all against Manchester City at the weekend when they did sling it in. And that was a big old City side.
Big old Donnarumma.
Yeah.
But Arsenal corner. Short with the previous 2. How about this time? It's Saka to swing it in. And well, defended at the near post that time. Mosquera attacked it, and it's a goal kick in fact in the end. Oh, Mosquera. He's had a few interventions actually defensively in this game, but he's looking to attack this one for his first Arsenal goal.
He's trying to flick it. It appears to have come off to a Vale player, but nothing doing for the linesman.
And Humphreys, whose loose pass led to that corner. Arteta not happy. He's not been happy actually for a lot of this game, because his side here would just love to put this game away if they can, but it's not the case. As we understand is Arsenal will make a change very shortly. Max Dowman set to come on. So just the 1 goal for Arsenal, just the 1 goal for Manchester City so far. And that game 15 minutes further ahead than this one. Newcastle 2-0 up against Bradford. Spurs 2-0 up against Doncaster. Brilliant overhead kick from João Paulinho in that game. Some of these guys are Sky Sports Plus. Mosquera. Max Dowman is waiting to come on. White. Into Saliba, and now Mosquera. Martinelli. Marino. And this ball goes out of play. Substitution will be made. As of course, has to concede a corner. Mosquera. Norgard. Good pressure though from Port Vale, and Martinelli just about holds on to it for Arsenal. Mosquera. Skelly working hard here, Port Vale to try and win it, but Eze. Nice turn from Martinelli. Eze. It's so difficult for Port Vale to try and put that pressure on. Norgard. Saka. Mosquera. Lewis Skelly. Now Martinelli. Lewis Skelly in that position again that helps set up the goal for Eze. Saliba. Saka. Still Saka. The give and go, the angle wasn't quite there for Waneri. And here's Norgard, shifts it onto White. White pulls it across. Here's Lewis Skelly. Will someone shoot? Waneri does. And then cleared away. It's blocked by Hall, the initial shot.
Yeah, pretty much all in front of Port Vale there, but now we're going to see the change.
So Max Dowman, who you feel every game he plays is going to set a new record for Arsenal. Well, Saka is going off. And he's handing over the armbands. He's given the instructions to who to pass it on to, and I think it's been put on by Marino in the end.
Arteta surprised me actually how much involvement and game time he's given to Max Dowman. But everyone concerned for Arsenal will be pleased to see Saka pretty much in one piece. And what about this fella? The manager clearly happy that his temperament can cope with this at such a young age. With all the talk of him.
Well, Max Dowman comes on as Arsenal's youngest ever player in the League Cup. Just the sixth 16-year-old for any club to feature in this competition. Actually, would you believe, 5 players who started games in the League Cup younger than Max Dowman. The youngest being actually Harvey Elliott when at Fulham.
He's grown a moustache, so it's not bad.
I think I had a moustache at about 7 years old. Here's Dowman. Mosquera. Vale are going to make a couple of subs shortly. The first of the game. Saliba. We saw Dowman's first touch there, passing the ball back, but it's not something he does often. Headley shooting out of position to close things down there as the ball was clipped out towards Dowman. Not sure Darren Moore was happy with Headley there. So the club captain looks like he's going to come on, Ben Garrity, who did start at the weekend. And it was interesting that Darren Moore went for the younger figures in midfield, rather than Garrity and George Byers, as a real dictator for Port Vale. There's Darren Moore talking to Jamie Smith, his new lead first-team coach. Offside flag's gone up. So let's see if subs that are made will change things. So, George Hall does go off. He put in a lot of effort in this game. We saw some of his runs earlier in the first half to really try and ruffle up the Arsenal defence. Right, T makes way and Ben Garrity will come on. And Gabriel makes way, a right wing back, so Mitch Clark will come on. And there was doubts about whether he would be involved. Some injury issues, but when he comes, another Aston Villa man, and then a right wing back. Martinelli playing it back, Marino. Downward screaming for the ball. Arsenal scored a screaming to get him on the ball high up the pitch. White. There is Downman. And Headley gets 1 foot in, but you need more than that to dispossess the young man. There's Skelly. Dowman. Really duck inside, he loves to run his opponent at every opportunity and gets defenders backpedaling.
Yeah, he's always confident, he's always progressive, positive on the ball.
So Arsenal with a long throw, Norgard. And White. Thought that might be the end result. So the rage. So goals going in elsewhere. Manchester City have increased their advantage. Newcastle did increase their advantage through Joel Linton, but Andy Cook has scored a beautiful finish to get one back for Bradford. And you can hear those Bradford City supporters high up in St James's Park. Well, Devante Cole looks like he's going to come on. The man who's had a good goal-scoring start to his Port Vale career. They're going to change both forwards. Kepa. Got there before Curtis, but Curtis trying to raise the volume in Vale Park.
Yeah, those fans just need something to get hold of, to be encouraged by.
So the long throw, you thought maybe. Clark again. And do they sense here the home side? An equaliser. Clark fizzed and is it going to have to throw in the end? I think Arsenal are a little bit worried here.
Yeah, can't afford for this game to get scrappy.
So double change up front for Port Vale. Jayden Stockley. Another injury doubt. He is coming on to replace Payton. He never really got that chance he would have loved to have had. And I think Brennan Curtis is going to come off as well. To be for Curtis as far as getting that magic moment for Vale. So here comes Devante Cole, and you can hear the roar from the home support. He's never scored in the League Cup 7 appearances, but he's certainly found the net for Port Vale so far this season. Their top scorer in the early stage of this campaign, and this is what I said when I said that Arsenal were worried, because Victor Gyökeres has been brought on, and maybe Arteta would have hoped not to use him. I think Gabriel as well to come into the back line. There's White going off. So Mosquera will go to right back. Didn't even need to be told Mosquera, he's already walking over there.
Going to take the throw in.
So Gabriel will come on and put the armband on.
Ben White still feeling his way back, I think, in terms of his best form, but Port Vale have got a couple of new strikers on, bit of height, bit of finishing ability. Devante Cole.
Ball, won the ball. So Arsenal with just the 1-goal lead, but Devante Cole, there's his record as far as goals this season, in his early stages, and there is that saying of Cole scores goals. It's been replicated by Devante Cole. Son, if you didn't know, that is point of Andrew Cole. He did start his career at Arsenal. And you were there, Alan, weren't you?
Yeah, he had, I think he had a couple of appearances actually, came on as a sub.
For you? Now can Arsenal get in behind here? Martinelli. Just trying to pass across, I couldn't get round his man. So Gabriel clears it forward. It's not a free kick. It's been hard to come by really in those sort of situations. Jalen Stockley.
Stockley will give him a bit more of a physical presence, I'd imagine, when that ball's played up.
Pushing up their front line. Arteta responding by bringing on Gabriel. There's the Brazilian. Saliba. Mosquera for Gyökeres. Dauman just always wants to run there, but Hall closed him down quickly. Walters. Not work that time. Lewis Skelly. To Martinelli. Mark in front of him.
I think you've Port Vale a lot of credit, having conceded that early goal. You're thinking Arsenal are going to get a second, third, maybe a fourth, but they've dug in. The home team made it difficult for the Gunners.
Skelly. As it stands, 1-0 to the Arsenal would be enough. Mosquera. And Mosquera, loose pass. So can they take advantage here? Garrity. Walters has to shoot. Clark. Rosedale as the moment gone. Had opportunities for a moment to shoot there. The Port Vale captain. And then Clark may have a problem here. Hope it's not the case, but
he hasn't done much wrong at all tonight. He's had a good game, Mosquera, but that was a risky pass, to say the least.
Actually, Arsenal recovery is pretty good in the end. It's actually one of the rare errors that Mosquera's made in his first few matches for Arsenal. To Settles in at right back now. He's covered 3 positions in the back 4. Here's Gyökeres. To Eze. It's the challenge snapping in again, new energy. Thrust from right wing back and another midfielder, forward line, and Arteta screaming. Somebody on that pitch. Gabriel. As this second half has panned out, we can say the words this is still in the balance, because Vale have applied good pressure here. Kepa. Very good pressure from Port Vale. Cole lines it up! Just thought that might just dip enough.
Arsenal, their own worst enemy here. Full ball out from the keeper, putting his team right in it. I mean, should have just got hold of it. There, Wanyeri tried a flick. He had plenty of time to weigh things up, Cole.
Just a split second of panic from Kepa, who was beaten by the goal of the season last season. Marmouche, who was a Bournemouth player. And a similar distance. Here's Norgard. Mosquera to Dauman. Hasn't got the ball on the front foot just yet. Mosquera again. They haven't found it easy to pass out from the back in this second half, Arsenal.
They've been encouraged to squeeze Port Vale, and they've done that.
Good effort, good response from the home side in the second half. Here's Gyökeres. Also just looking for that settling second. Dauman. And still drifting across. Lewis Skelly. Norgard. Eze. Lewis Skelly. Dauman. Eze. Mosquera. 1-2, Wanyeri put in for Walters. Stockley. He loses it though. Wanyeri picks it up. Lewis Skelly. Dauman. Clever ball to Gyökeres to maybe finish this off for Arsenal. But the combination of goalkeeper and defender getting back there. Humphreys, I think, with a crucial block.
Just took too long. Wanted too much time there, Gyökeres. It's a classic centre-forwards run, and Max Dauman was well aware of it. Lovely dinking. Really good stop, this. Possibly a goal-saving challenge, this, from Cameron Humphreys.
Important intervention, because you'd have fancied that may have finished things off if Gyökeres has found the net there, but Clark, is he still struggling from that incident seconds ago? I was going to mention that it is an area that Port Vale actually have a decent amount of depth in. Alfonso Ojo, the latest sub. Midfielder. Declan Rice may be joining the action as well. I don't think Clark's going to be able to continue here, you feel?
No, none of those Port Vale lads want to come off on a big night like this.
So Mitch Clark doesn't last too long in the end. He's forced off through injury, so Alfonso Ojo will play out on that side. Vale came on in the 66th minute and he's off in the 80th. That's his disappointment really in the end.
Replacing him is number 14, Ojo!
So Ojo comes on, the Belgian midfielder. Well, Martinelli is going to come off. It's a double change for Arsenal. Trossard and Declan Rice. So Trossard will go across to that left-hand side, and Eze also off. Well, he scored his first Arsenal goal tonight. There Eze, the hope, first of many for sure.
Yeah, you would imagine there will be, but it's what he offers apart from goals. That eye for a pass, creativity, imagination. Top player.
All we needed against Newcastle. A trip to St James's Park at the weekend, in the mind of Mikel Arteta as well. Also got to think about the possibility of penalties still on the horizon if Port Vale can find that one goal. Arsenal looking for that second though. Boneri, another short corner from Arsenal. Rice. Dowman. Rice again. Lewis Skelly. Rice. Dowman. Shifts it back inside. Rice once more. I draw Port Vale out. Gabriel. Gabriel, now we have Gabriel. There's Gabriel. Trossard. Skelly. Mascara. So they've done very well in the second half, Port Vale.
Yeah, they have. They've done better than the first. Got to grips with the challenge. Individually, what they need to do, and collectively. And they've had the ball in Arsenal's half a little more than the first. You're just wondering now, can they create a chance before their time is up?
No touches in the Arsenal box, the Manchester City managed. It goes back to Kepa. Saliba. On all guard. Mascara. Dowman. Checks and then goes. It should be an Arsenal throw. There's a debate though. Different type of player really for Headley to face now. Arsenal over 600 passes tonight, and so far though just the one goal. Gabriel. That's gone out of play in the end, so Arsenal nothing with the possession. So Deborah will take this throw in. He's ready to go long. Just that one chance needed for Port Vale. Can they find an equaliser late on? Chris couldn't retain it. Humphreys. Ojo hangs it in there. Cole will go up, but Kepa gets there first. Or just look after it. The other games tonight. Full times. Newcastle through, Spurs through, and Manchester City to join the others from last night and last week. And the draw to take place about 10:20 tonight. And we know everybody who will be in that draw, bar whether it's Arsenal or Port Vale. But it's Saliba looking for Trossard. Brilliant control to finish things off here for Arsenal, and he's done it! Belgian off the bench, and Arsenal have most likely booked their place in the last 16, and it's thanks to a substitute, not for the first time this season. Tight offside call, but
yeah, they've had to wait a fair while, those Arsenal fans behind the goal. I mean, I think the lines would be out and he might just have been caught offside, but he takes advantage, Trossard. It's a fine, crisp, clean finish. And that really should end the doubt, if there was any. Good ball from Saliba. And that is a lovely touch.
It'll feel like a bit of relief for Mikel Arteta in an awkward second half. While you're only winning 1-0, there's always that worry that equalisers on the cards, but that second goal should prove too much for their hosts tonight. And Trossard coming off the bench to score his second of the season. Came off the bench to score against Athletic Club in the Champions League last time out. Over Darren Moore's side, we say this sort of thing a lot about pride and everything, but they have worked extremely hard and defended pretty well in this match. Can they just at least give the supporters something to shout about? It's all about the third, fourth, fifth ball there. Trossard, and now Waneri. Dauman. If he was to score tonight, he'd be Arsenal's youngest ever goal scorer. Norgard. Gabriel. Gabriel. Here's Waneri. Dauman, lovely flick to find Rice. And Rice inside to Norgard. The two most eye-catching moments besides the goal from Trossard has been that ball through from Dauman and that little flick there. Here's Saliba. Gabriel out to Trossard. Trossard looking for Gyökeres. Is he quick enough to get there? And Humphreys not happy with his goalkeeper, I don't think, but either way, last-ditch defending.
Yeah, showed good pace there, Gyökeres. I think he's getting sharper with each passing match in an Arsenal shirt. He struggled against Man City, didn't get the service, really difficult, but he'll get some goals for this team.
So Arsenal corner. And the 90th minute. Rice to the back post. No short corners from Declan Rice. Dauman. Kepa. Another thing to add as it stands. It's another clean sheet this season for Arsenal. They conceded 2 goals in the campaign up to now. And that stunning free kick from Szoboszlai. And the early goal for Haaland at the weekend. And to add to that is the fact that Arsenal don't really concede what we'd call big chances either.
No, just the two in the Premier League so far. They are a tough nut to crack defensively.
That's why you can get that attack flowing. It will be a serious proposition as far as when it comes to dishing out the trophies. As Vale plays it across. Saliba trying to play the diagonal now. Gauchi's come. The Gauchi punches well.
Had a decent game. Gauchi made that save for Meza in the first half. Came out to deny Martinelli shortly into the second.
Oh, big night for Port Vale to face Arsenal. Former players here tonight as well, including Alan Tankard, who missed that crucial penalty in the shootout all those years ago. And Corden, who made it 1-1 on the night on that occasion. There's John Rudge. Dowman. It goes to Saliba. Norgard. Dowman. Sharp to turn and face the goal. Dowman again. Every time the ball doesn't come to him, he gets annoyed. Noticed in this since he's come on. Wants to be involved as often as possible. Doesn't shy away. Lewis Skelly.
It's just a matter of ticking down the clock now, but for Port Vale, I think they can take plenty from this. They've stood up to Arsenal. They've made it difficult for the Gunners. I think individually and as a team, they would have learnt a fair bit. Certainly you don't want to get humiliated in this kind of situation and for it to affect your ongoing league form, which certainly shouldn't happen.
Which has picked up in recent matches. Back-to-back wins and obviously progressing to this stage of the competition. Beat Birmingham City away in the last round, which is no mean feat considering their home record. And for a long spells of this match, they were within range of Arsenal. But Arsenal set for another clean sheet. Importantly, the 2 goals. But here's Dowman driving forward. He fancies one himself. The block came in from Deborah. Trossard. Norgard. Waneri. He drops his shoulder and rifles one towards goal, but Gauchi dealt with that.
They've got a lot of very talented left-footers, Arsenal, these days.
They've all come through the academy as well. It really topped the night for Arsenal supporters to see Dowman get on the score sheet. It's not to be. Arsenal safely through in the end. Mikel Arteta handshake with Darren Moore, whose side really put up the fight against the Gunners this evening, but ultimately it was that early goal of Eze that put Arsenal in front, and then near the end Leandro Trossard off the bench to score their second. We had periods in which Port Vale proved a tough nut to crack at times, but ultimately the Gunners make the route through to the last 16 by beating their League One opponents. Port Vale have waited a long time to face the Arsenal, but in the end the Arsenal advance. A final score of Vale Park: Port Vale 0, Arsenal 2.
And in front of their biggest crowd since 1999, it is defeat for Darren Moore's Paul Vale, but I guess he'll take quite a bit of that ahead of their game against Barnsley at the weekend. Arsenal, less than spectacular, but job done for Mikel Arteta's side, and it is a clean sweep for Premier League sides this evening. Man City through a 2-0 win against Huddersfield Town. Newcastle United, the holders, through against Bradford City. Tottenham through against Doncaster Rovers. And Arsenal will join them in that fourth round draw that we have coming for you in just under half an hour's time. Jamie, job done. They're through to the next round. Weren't convincing though, Arsenal tonight, were they?
No, but it was a difficult game in terms of they sat back, Port Vale made it difficult for them, got men behind the ball. But he'll be delighted, the manager. You know, they've got minutes into players that haven't played as much this season. Man of the match from Eze, got his goal, first goal for Arsenal. There'll be plenty more to come. So no, I think he'll be delighted with that. It was most important thing is it's a bit of a banana skin. He didn't want to come unstuck today, so he will be delighted.
A Michael, plus side for your old side is that it wasn't a cricket school. In fact, it was respectable in the end. But are there positives for Darren Moore to take into the weekend and the rest of the season? They didn't have a shot on target in the entire game.
They didn't. That would be the one disappointment for him, but I feel with the changes he's made, he's put an organised team out there, managed to withhold a bit of pressure from Arsenal, limited them to only several opportunities, and he had a go at the end. He brought his subs on, he felt like he could roll the dice, and I feel overall it'd be a progression, a team that's getting more consistent. You know that they're hard to beat, they know that they can keep a good sort of clean sheet or a very tight game. And I think he'd be proud of his team.
Do you think he'd still be happy with those changes he made? We saw Devante Cole going really close towards the end, but not a starter tonight.
Well, he obviously was very aware of the decision, why he didn't start, and looking for the longer term towards the league form. So maybe we could sit back and go, we could have had more a go. I wish maybe I could have changed my team, but he'll have thought about it long and hard before he did that, and he's probably thought that was the right answer for him. So I think it was a balanced performance. It was a wonderful night for Port Vale.
Yeah.
Those supporters to be able to come here and witness finally a Premier League side coming.
And a massive, massive attendance night. Next up, a Darren Moore Barnsley away at Oakwell.